again, and I'm back for grammar tip number 6. Grammar tip number 6 is actually the part 2 of grammar tip number 5. And today we will be discussing about in, on, and at as prepositions of place. Before we continue, please do subscribe to my channel by clicking the subscribe button. As we have mentioned in the previous video, we can compare in, on, and at to an inverted triangle when we talk about prepositions of time. But we can also use this representation for prepositions of place. At for a specific place, on for a less specific place, and in for the least specific place. Here are some examples. I live at 94 Sunflower Street. This is an exact address. That's why it's a specific place. The hospital is on Taft Avenue. This is less specific because the hospital can be anywhere on Taft Avenue. The band will have a concert in the Philippines. This is the least specific among the examples because the concert can happen anywhere in the Philippines. For a more precise comparison, we can use figures to represent these prepositions of place. For at, we can use a dot since we use it for a specific place or point. For on, we can use a line since we use it when we refer to a surface. And for in, we can use a box since we use it when we refer to a place that's within something or within edges. So let's talk about at. We use at when we want to say that someone or something is at a specific place. The supermarket is at the corner of Rose Street and Queen Avenue. He is waiting at the entrance of the mall. We also use at when we talk about an exact address. She lives at 123 Lavender Street. Note that if we do not know the exact address, we use on. She lives on Lavender Street. We also use at for events. I was at the concert last night. Marie is at the wedding of her best friend. We also use at to say that someone is at a public place. She was at the library when you called. Her parents visited a good friend at the hospital. Lastly, we use at in stops we make on a journey. Examples: we stopped at the gas station. The bus from Iloilo City going to Rojas City stops at Pasig City. On is used for surfaces. Examples: there's a painting hanging on the wall. My bag is on the table. He spilled his drink on her dress. Can you write it on a piece of paper? Our apartment is on the 8th floor. Now, when we say surfaces, it includes flat surfaces like roads, streets, and bodies of water, such as lake, oceans, and rivers. Example: I'll meet you on Spencer Avenue. They went boating on the lake. We also use on when something is physically attached or joined to something. She is wearing a ring on her right finger. Now let's talk about in. In is used when something is in an enclosed space or within something. I found your pen in my bag. She left her phone in the car. We also use in for areas, regions, and cities, since these nouns have borders and edges, even if it's not so obvious. My mother is having a vacation in South Korea. I was born and raised in Iloilo City. They prefer to live in the mountains. We can also use in when we talk about teams. He tried out in the basketball team. She works in the human resource department. Lastly, we use in with liquids to show what they contain. There's a fly in his coffee. Ben always puts sugar in his tea. There's chili in that sauce. This time, let's learn what prepositions to use when we talk about transportation. When we are talking about general ways to travel, we use the preposition by. I will travel by train. I will travel by bus. I will travel by car. When we refer to specific transport vehicles, we use in and on. So, when do we use in? If you must sit inside the vehicle, then we use in. Examples: in the car, in the helicopter, in the taxi, in a truck, in a rowboat. On the other hand, we use on if we can stand or walk on the vehicle. Examples: on the airplane, on the train, on a ship. We also use on if we sit or stand upon a vehicle. Examples: on a bicycle, on a skateboard, on a motorcycle, on ice skates. We can also use these prepositions using the same noun, but we have to use them based on proper context. Here are some examples. I'm on the car, meaning you are on top of the car. I'm in the car, which means you are inside the car. And when you say I'm at the car, meaning you're in the same place where the car is. So as a recap, we use at for a specific place, on for surfaces, and in for an enclosed space or borders. These prepositions can really be tricky, but if we understand these basic rules, we can use them appropriately. If you have questions, please feel free to type it on the comment section below. If you think this video is helpful, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Till next time, guys. Thank you. Bye.